Another blow, a big one, to the Penn State football program and the legacy of Coach Joe Paterno. Today, the NCAA announced its punishment in the wake of the sexual abuse scandal involving former coach Jerry Sandusky. ABC's Karen Travers details the penalties in this developing story.
The NCAA dropped the hammer on the Penn State football program.
No price the NCAA can levy will repair the grievous damage inflicted by Jerry Sandusky on his victims. However, we can make clear that the culture, actions, and inactions that allowed them to be victimized will not be tolerated in collegiate athletics.
The NCAA sanctions were severe and unprecedented. A $60 million fine equal to 1 year gross revenue of the football program. That money will go to programs to prevent child abuse or assist victims. A 4-year ban on postseason bowl games. All wins from 1998 to 2011 are vacated, so Joe Paterno is no longer the winningest coach in NCAA football history. And finally, a loss of 20 scholarships per year over 4 years and 5 years probation. But the NCAA didn't go as far as it could have, imposing the so-called death penalty that would have suspended the football program. It's only been used once against Southern Methodist University in the late 1980s, after their players accepted cash from boosters.
Suspension of the football program would bring with it significant unintended harm to many who had nothing to do with this case.
The punishment comes one day after Penn State removed the iconic but now infamous statue of Joe Paterno. It sat outside the stadium where he was once considered king. Penn State said today it accepts the penalties. University officials signed an agreement with the NCAA, which means they will not appeal their punishment. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
All right, so we now know how Penn State is going to be punished, but this afternoon we want to know how these sanctions will affect the football program. Continuing our team coverage, sports anchor Dennis Jansen is joining us now live on the phone with what far-reaching effects we could see from this. DJ, how are you this afternoon, and what do you have to say on the issue?
I'm just fine, Tanya. We're coming to you live from Cooperstown, New York, where the Baseball Hall of Fame, of course, inducted Barry Larkin over the weekend to somehow perhaps provide a diversion from this ugliness that we knew was going to come down today at Penn State. But in any event, these sanctions, as I see them, are unprecedented, almost on the order of the perversions that Jerry Sandusky inflicted on his many, many victims, obviously with the complicity of his superiors. NCAA President Mark Emmert, in announcing these sanctions this morning, mentioned the $60 million fine, which borders on an insult, considering that, as he mentioned so prominently, this amounts to 1 year's gross revenue from the football program. As for the probation and the bowl ban, they are harsh but survivable. Same for the loss of scholarships. Actually, I think that Penn State removing the statue of Joe Paterno yesterday was the right thing to do and perhaps mitigated this penalty somehow, some way. But in my estimation, allowing transfers to go to another school without having to sit out and letting them go immediately, and also allowing kids who are going to stay in the program to just attend school and not play for football anymore, I think that is more significant. As for vacating the wins, well, I think that's only suitable and appropriate because Penn State cheated. They didn't cheat in the conventional sense of an NCAA infraction. They didn't cheat on the field, but they certainly cheated kids of the right to associate with sports at no peril to themselves. Those kids and those victims are going to be living with this for the rest of their lives, and I think that everyone that was complicit in this, they should likewise get a life sentence.
Denny, there will be much more talk on this matter. Hopefully we'll be talking with you more on this matter. We appreciate you joining us by phone there from Cooperstown. Have a safe journey home.